And we can go ahead and begin.
Thanks, Ian. Good afternoon and welcome to ChamberRVA's Virtual Education Forum, Equity and Opportunity in Education. I'm Brian Anderson, President and CEO of ChamberRVA, and we thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon on this very important conversation as a part of our five-part series, again, Education Forum, Equity and Opportunity in Education. Today's session is entitled, Connecting Cultures, and we have a great group of panelists who are going to help us with this conversation this afternoon as we continue this dialogue. This program is brought to us by our presenting sponsor, Dominion Energy, and our gold sponsors, Altria, Capital One, Virginia 529, and our silver sponsor, Facebook. Delivering our sponsor comments this afternoon will be Maria Tamburi, who is the Senior Community Engagement Policy Director for Dominion Energy. We welcome you to today's conversation, Maria.
Hi, Brian, how are you? Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. My name is Maria Tamburi. I was born in Argentina and moved to the U.S. when I was 8. So I'm particularly excited to be part of this conversation about connecting cultures, since I have been an example of how we can connect cultures in this country. I want to share some thoughts about how to engage, particularly the Hispanic community, which we're going to be discussing today, because it's a really important task, especially here in Virginia, and it's a topic that I'm very passionate about. You already know that the Hispanic community is growing. Let me put some numbers around that. Today, Hispanics make up about 10% of Virginians, up from 8% just 6 years ago. And in parts of Northern Virginia, they make up 15 to 20%. The Weldon Cooper Center and the University of Virginia says that over the next 2 decades, 77% of all population growth in Virginia will come from Hispanics. But while Hispanics are running ahead in the population growth, they still lag behind on income levels. The median Hispanic household income in Virginia is 16% lower than the median white household income. So any discussion about equity and opportunity certainly needs to include a focus on the Hispanic community. But I should pause here with a disclaimer. It's important to note that Hispanic is an umbrella term that papers over a lot of diversity. When you drill down, you can find most Argentinians are descendants from Europeans, most Bolivians are descendants from indigenous Americans, and the majority of the people in the Dominican Republic are descendants from African slaves. In fact, a majority of Hispanics describe themselves using their country of origin rather than simply Hispanic or Latino. And of course, many Hispanics have been in America for multiple generations. So it only makes sense that 69% of Hispanics say that they have many different cultures, not just one. At Dominion Energy, we use a variety of ways to reach out to this important community. We have an employee resource group, which I'm sure a lot of you have worked with. Their name is OLA, with over 500 members that help with recruiting and provide diverse job opportunities for candidates. Members of OLA also help interns prepare for interviews and get the word out in our community about job opportunities at Dominion Energy. They even help out with interpreters for Richmond Public Schools at parent conferences, report card days, and similar events. We have been a partner with the Latin Ballet in the past 2 decades. We have been a member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in Virginia since 2004. And we also have a great relationship with Northern Virginia Hispanic Chamber. We sponsor job fairs, community events, help with organizations that provide employees as a resource on energy-related topics such as billing and energy efficiency. We hold a diversity student conference, which, by the way, we're going to be holding October 7th through the 9th, again this year, virtually, where we bring students from diverse backgrounds into Dominion Energy to tell them about our company. And In this conference, we reach out to Hispanic serving institutions to include the Hispanic students as well. Our college outreach also includes student organizations such as the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers and other diverse student organizations. And we also have been issuing press releases in Spanish, and we have a new Spanish landing page on our website that provides information to the Hispanic community in Spanish to make sure that they understand and know about their bills, energy efficiency, and other programs that we are doing at Dominion Energy. You have heard that our vision includes building a clean and sustainable energy future. We are doing this by investing in offshore wind, solar generation, storage, backup renewables, and innovative solutions such as waste-to-energy, renewable natural gas. But the real sustainability has to include everyone. It is about making sure we all thrive together, because as the current pandemic has reminded us, we're all in this together. This is why connecting cultures is so important. It helps build a brighter future for everyone. We at Dominion Energy are proud to be a part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria, for being
Brian.
a sponsor. You all do tremendous work throughout not only our region, but also throughout all of your footprint of Dominion Energy. We thank you for all that you're doing. We're going to have a wonderful panel today discussion brought to us by Juan Santacolomo and Tanya Gonzalez, and I'll introduce them next before we begin our panel. And then the Q&A will be managed and moderated by Molly Dryden-Mason, who I also will introduce. First, Ms. Gonzalez. Tanya Gonzalez holds a bachelor's degree in Latin American Studies from Brown University and a master's in Public Administration from Virginia Commonwealth University. Mrs. Gonzalez joined the Sacred Heart Center as the executive director in July 2016. She grew up on the Texas-Mexican border and has lived in Richmond for 26 years. Mrs. Gonzalez is active in the community, serving on several boards, as well as being a volunteer on many others. She has almost 20 years experience in working with and for Richmond's Latino community, previously as the manager of the City of Richmond's Office of Multicultural Affairs for over 10 years. Mrs. Gonzalez is a graduate of Leadership Metro Richmond and the Connecting Communities Fellowship Program, as well as the Minority Political Leadership Institute. She was previously the recipient of the Holti Award, given by the Mexican government to recognize individuals for their service to the Mexican community in the United States. Mrs. Gonzalez was also recognized as one of Richmond's top 40 under 40 by Style magazine in 2005, which highlights young leaders who are successful, talented, and giving back to their community. In May 2015, Mrs. Gonzalez received the Leadership Metro Richmond UCROP Community Vision Award, and in her free time, she coordinates a dance group at the Sacred Heart Center that performs traditional Latin American and Spanish dance in the Richmond area. Thank you, Tanya, for being with us today. We look forward to your comments. And Juan Santacolomo was born in Manizales, Colombia. In 1990, he moved to Bogota, the capital, where he lived until he came to the United States in May of 2000, when he was forced to leave Colombia due to the threats from the revolutionary forces of FARC. Juan began working for Chesterfield County in October 2001 under the Work Experience Program for 8 months. Now he is working at the Citizen Information and Resources Department as the Community Engagement Coordinator for Multicultural Services. He is married to Martha. They have 2 daughters, Maria, who's 25 and a nurse, and Vanessa, who's 24, who works at the YMCA in Henrico. Juan has a bachelor's degree in mass communications and journalism. He's also studied to be a professional announcer for radio and TV, and finally, marketing and publicity. Juan, we look forward to your comments, and welcome to the panel today. And our moderator, Mahalia Molly Dryden-Mason, Molly says the only important people need bios. It is more important to have this conversation than to focus on me. But for a few minutes, Molly, we're going to focus on you. She's been a part of the Department of Professional and Occupational Regulations Virginia Fair Housing Office since 2003. In those duties as a fair housing training specialist, Molly shares the fair housing law information to increase awareness of rights and responsibilities of all Virginia residents through her creative and innovative seminars. Realizing that fighting for civil rights is like loving somebody that does not love you back, Molly knew the challenge would be great. and the way she's dealt with the challenge is to focus her attention on achieving the ultimate goal set by civil rights warriors. That goal is to someday in the near future eradicate the devastating pain of discrimination, not only in housing, but also in every phase of life. She was born, raised, and educated in Central America in the Republic of Panama, in an area once known as the Panama Canal Zone. Molly is a proud descendant of grandparents from both Jamaica and Barbados that migrated to Panama when the U.S. was building the Panama Canal. The lived experiences of witnessing her grandparents and parents awakened the passion of fighting for human and civil rights, even before formally attending school. Their stories, often told, left her with many more questions than mom and dad could handle. Blessed with teachers and the same expectations as her parents and often friends of them, Molly found her voice in public speaking at the tender age of 8, competing and winning many oratory and debate contests. If asked, she would tell you, because of them, she is who she is today. I'm not an expert, she says. What I am is the descendant of a woman, my grandma, who never thought she would have to warn her children about the dangers of having skin like honey or darker. My mom having to give me the same speech in my lifetime as I have in my senior years had to give to my 4 adult children the talk. Sadly, if people in society don't change, my 3 grandchildren and those who come will also hear it. Judging people by the color of their skin is the oldest and most known form of discrimination. It is time. Honest conversations are necessary. Fear is the biggest enabler of discrimination. If you do not know, it's okay. Just do not ignore the curiosity. It's good to ask questions and get answers to feed that curiosity. There's also a need to be ready for true and honest answers. Let's talk. Molly, that may be the best bio I've ever read. I've ever been able to introduce to somebody, so thank you for sharing that. As you can tell, those that are on the call today and part of this session, we have 3 remarkable panelists, and we look forward to hearing from both Juan and Tanya, and moderated by Molly. So I will turn it over to you. I think, Juan, are you first?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian. Gracias for the introduction, and buenas tardes. Good afternoon to everybody. And also thank you for the invitation. And first of all, I want to show you some numbers about the Latino and Asian communities in our metro area. However, it is just to show these numbers, is not to discuss it. But one thing I want to let you know is my perception, because I'm working for the county for almost 19 years. These numbers are not real. I think they are really higher, but this is the estimates from the census by July 1, July 1st, 2019. So it is just to give you some examples about the populations in our area. Also, I receive many people who ask me about what the best term is when referred to Latinos. And the truth is that the common people, the construction, the warehouse, factory workers, they tell me, I don't care. And I don't care because they have other more important problems and situations to solve. However, Latino refer to people born in any Latino country, and Hispanics means Espanol, the language. So those people who speak Spanish are Hispanics, including people from Spain. And Latinx, it is the new term to include everyone in general. So men, women, members of the LGBTQ community and others are included in this new term, Latinx. Other people said that this term is just used for the academia, but for me, actually, most of the people don't care, and I personally, I don't care as well. Well, as the
Hey, Juan, sorry to interrupt. Can you turn your video back on? I think you might have turned it off by accident.
Excuse me, what do you say?
Oh, I think you might have turned your video off by accident. Yeah, okay, it's back. Thanks. Oh, it's gone.
Okay, is right now there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sorry.
Thank you.
So I was saying that for my job as the Chattanooga County Multicultural Liaison, the Chattanooga County Community Engagement Coordinator for Multicultural Services, the Multicultural Liaison was my prior position. And I am the communication channel between all the different immigrant and multicultural communities and the county government to let these communities know about the different programs, services, benefits the county has for all the residents. And during these almost 19 years, I have been able to identify the different needs that you can see on the screen about not just Latinos, but most of the immigrant communities. As you can see, we have immigration I think is the main one, because don't have a proper immigration status for the immigrant communities is really important, and it is a really concern. Also, many of them have the lack of health and dental care. Many of these people don't have health insurance to cover health or dental care. Also, they are looking for affordable housing, homes that they can pay, but also houses in good conditions. The language barrier is another difficult for many immigrants in our area. And also we need to keep in mind that many government agencies or government and a local level are not able to provide enough classes for these people in the immigrant community. Transportation is another big concern for many immigrants in our area. Just to give you an example, in Chesterfield County, we have basically one line of Jet Davis corridor to provide public transportation to the whole county, and this line just started maybe 5 months ago. Job opportunities, there are many people, because the crisis about COVID-19 lost the jobs. Payments or the salary is not the same that with other communities. They don't receive benefits. Talking about legal, there are many immigrants who need legal advice, if possible, in their own native language, in this particular case in Spanish, advice about immigration, family, divorce, custody, what to do when bosses don't want to pay the salary, how to report all these kind of situations, advice about labor, etc. And again, talking about a little bit about the COVID-19 situation, many immigrants lost their job. They don't have money to pay rent and bills because many of them are undocumented. They don't receive any stimulus check. They are not able to apply for social service department benefits such as food stamp, TANF, Medicaid. They are not able to apply for unemployment. So basically, these people are in the limbo right now and dealing with difficulties related with financial situation at home. No government agencies, no government local, state, or federal are providing them any kind of support. The only organizations and churches are those who are right now providing and helping these communities. When I'm talking about this organization, I can mention, for example, Sacred Heart Center, the food banks, CHAS in Chesterfield County, et cetera, but they are not receiving a lot of support from the government in our area, and I suppose nationwide. During my almost 19 years working for the county, I have been helping the school system with one situation that is a problem. Many male Latino students are dropping thschools, and the main reason is because they want to go outside to work. When many of these male Latino students found out that they don't have a proper immigration status, they made that decision. When these children found this, they decided to go outside and work because they were not able to get some important things that other students get. Things such as driver's license, being able to apply for a college or university, and other things. So they say, what is the reason to finish high school if I cannot go to the university? What is the reason to finish high school if I cannot get my driver's license as my other friends? So they made a decision to drop school. But also we have a problem with not many, but some Latino dads, the fathers, who said to the children, you know what, I never attend school. I never finished high school, and now I'm making good money in America. So why you don't come with me? With they said to the children, come with me. I will going to find you a job where you can find you can make 15, 17, $18 per hour and don't finish high school. So in Chesterfield County, we had to meet with these parents, with these students, and talk with them, try to find out more about the family dynamics, provide them professional counselors, professional advisors, as well as to give them some resources to try to avoid that male Latino student drop school. Then when we had the Obama administration, we were fortunately because they approved the DACA. With this special immigration status, many Latino children had the opportunity to apply and have any kind of immigration status. They were able to find good jobs. Others were able to buy homes. But unfortunately, with the current administration, this immigration status was stopped, canceled, and banned. And we are living again the same situation with many of the students in our area. So they were not able to get driver's license. They are not able to go to the university or college because they are asking for any kind of immigration status. And again, DACA is not with us. So we are in the limbo again, and we are waiting that maybe the courts at this time can do anything for these children. And now that most of the school system decide to go virtual during the next fall, there are some concerns also from many Latino children, Latino parents, and other multicultural communities. And one of the things is trust. And I said trust is because for many immigrant communities, many people from the Latino countries, they don't trust on the government because in most of our own countries, the governments are corrupted. And they assume that in America, the government is the same. But also because they are thinking that any kind of government is related with immigration. And most of the Latinos and most of the immigrant communities don't want any interaction with immigration officers or immigration people. But also they are concerned about the internet access. There are many immigrant families who don't have a good service talking about internet. So at least in Chesterfield County, the system has the opportunity to make an agreement with Comcast, and they are providing good service to those who request it. But also there are many parents and adults who have no idea. They are not familiar with the new virtual meetings. They are not familiar with the new platforms to meet with teachers, to meet with the staff, and ask about their own children. So again, here in Chesterfield County, we are providing these parents different trainings and different opportunities to learn more about this new technology for them. And finally, about education, I want to talk about something that my daughters told me several times ago. Apparently, there are children who are receiving different education than others. Basically, what I heard that is those schools where most of the students are white or financially with a financial stability are receiving better education than those students who are attending other schools, mainly diverse schools where Black and Latinos are attending. I'm not sure what is going on. I'm not sure it may be the parents of the white schools are doing better job. The PTAs are doing better. The parents have better connections. I'm not sure. But apparently these students, the white students, are making best and are having better scholarships than students from other localities, at least again in Chesterfield County. I cannot talk about other localities because it is not my job, but it is what I know about it. Now, what community leaders, corporations, companies can do in order to connect with other communities, with other people, etc., etc. There are different things. One is create an internship program or work study opportunity throughout the county to these students where they gain first-hand experience about a topic of interest. Just a quick example. Businesses need to be mindful and open to teach these students the ropes. Example, a student who is interested in both cars and businesses can be intern in the operating mechanic shop, learn the tricks of the trade about how to fix a vehicle, change oil, change a tire, etc., etc. But also they are able to learn about the bookkeeping of a company, maybe how to be able to learn about the accountable, the basic payroll, etc., etc. So there are ways how business can change and work with the multicultural communities. Also change the mindset of the businesses from profit to education. This one, it is really important when handling with the students or young employees. Understanding that though profit is a big and crucial part of the company, giving one day out of the work for 2 or 3 hours to a student is much more impactful. Profits for the company could even increase new marketing, advertising from the student, more help without the salary, without compensation, benefit requirement, etc., etc. Also, businesses can offer specials, discounts, etc. to students who have good grades or are in advanced classes, honor rolls, etc. Free meals for only A's and B's, and the company can write off as a donation of tax credits. 10% off of buy one, get one free. It's another way how companies can support multicultural community students. Finally, maybe create a GoFundMe page to raise money for those students who want to go to the university but are not able to afford it. The company can advertise in their own business, give the customers a reward for donating, etc. And also, this kind of initiatives creates a sense of social responsibility for the company, which has a strong and positive marketing correlation image, not just among customers, but also with the staff and the whole community. Finally, another way how companies and corporations and leaders can support the multicultural communities and the Latino community is basically supporting and sponsor different community activities. I want to mention two right now that I personally coordinate. One of them is the El Juguetazo. It is the Three Kings Day celebration. The Three Kings Day celebration is basically where we hand out new and unwrapped toys to every child who attends the event. Three Kings event is more important than Christmas in many Latino and Asian countries. And the reason is because the Three Kings are those guys who really provide toys and gifts to children. No Santa Claus, no baby Jesus, no other, but the Three Kings. When we start this event, basically 16 years ago, we had no more than 200 children. In 2020, we hand out toys to more than 3,600 children who attend the event. And I'm not talking about children only in Chesterfield County. We have children from from Fredericksburg to Dinwiddie, Colonial Heights, Petersburg, Henrico, City of Richmond, and many other localities. And because this is a cultural event, very important for many communities, not just talking about Latinos. We have people from Asia, people from the African American community who attend the event and receive the toys. The other event is the First Responders and Multicultural Community Cup. I did it for first time last year. and I was able to bring the first responders agencies from Henrico and Chesterfield counties, the city of Richmond, as well as the state police to play soccer. It was different teams formed by 14 players. Each team with 14 players, 7 from each agency, so employees from each law enforcement agency, and the other 7 from our multicultural communities. It was an amazing, a great day, full of soccer, full of community events, community engagement, different activities for children, for adults, for the family. And it was great because it was a great opportunity to make community, and it is what we need. To tell others that we are here, that Latinos, that Africans, that Asians are here, to stay here, to support our community and make every single day a better community for everybody, at least in Chesterfield County, in the metro area. I know that there are many other things that we are doing in Chesterfield County, such as the Hispanic Police Academy, such as the My Chesterfield Academy, that is an orientation program to teach multicultural communities regarding how to navigate the system, how to learn, how to find the different resources and benefits the program the county has. Now, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me by phone, by internet, by email. Just let me know. More than happy to work with you in the future. Brian or Tanya, I'm not sure who is next.
Thank you, Juan, for those great enlightenments and the work you're doing. We think it's important that we continue to not only communicate in a session like this, but provide experts like yourself as a contact for people to reach out to. So thank you for being with us today and for those comments, and we look forward to hearing from Tanya now.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm trying to make sure I can navigate my presentation here. Again, my name is Tanya Gonzalez. I'm the Executive Director of Sacred Heart Center. I'm excited to be here with you all this afternoon and sharing the time with my great friends, Juan and Molly. And thank you again for the invite, for including us in this great event, to the Chamber and all of the sponsors. So I'm going to focus my comments on the Sacred Heart Center, and really I want to give you a very brief overview, but focus on what we've been doing for the last few months, just as a complement to everything Juan shared, and what we're seeing as the pandemic continues to unfold. Let's see here. So we are a nonprofit community center that is located in South Richmond, and we provide a wide variety of educational, health, human services, and our mission is to connect Latino families with tools to thrive and flourish. I'm having a little trouble here going through the slides, but we're going to make it work. During our regular operations, we provide a wide variety of adult education programs, youth and children's programs, and our community hub initiatives at the center. We have 17 direct programs that we administer, a wide range of adult education, after school and before school programming for children, basically from birth to 18 years old, and then lots of wraparound services, health, legal assistance, mental health, as well as basic needs, trying to address a lot of the needs that Juan had shared previously. During the course of a regular program year, we are serving about 11,000 individuals at our community center on Perry Street. Now, since the pandemic, I want to share this specifically, just you all as business leaders. You know, everyone has had to pivot and reimagine and transform. So our strategy really at the center as a small nonprofit, community-based, serving vulnerable families, has been to be La Palmera, or the palm tree. So if you think of the palm tree that might bend and sway in the wind, or even in a hurricane in this case, the leaves might, you know, open up and the wind kind of flows through them, and we continue to move and flow. And so that's really been our strategy from the beginning. And we continue to do that even now as we're seeing the impacts, and we're seeing this pandemic really globally just exacerbate existing disparities. This day is around equity, right? So we are seeing all the disparities that both Maria and Juan talked about in their comments really come up to the surface. And it's also an opportunity to begin addressing them as more time goes on. So we have been, since March 16th, when everything changed for us, responding through our services, through our programs, through changing what we've been doing. So immediately we began moving all of our educational programs, both for adults and children, to virtual offerings. And that's been with mixed success. I want to be transparent about that. When we talk about community needs, we've seen a lot of needs come up that were already there, but are just much more highlighted with everything going virtual, everything being so focused on technology. So access to equipment has been a challenge, both even for our staff and for our community, access to the internet and broadband. Let's say you have several family members in a home that are needing to get on an equipment or on a laptop, and there's only one laptop. Or someone is trying to access a Zoom meeting on their cell phone that's a 3-hour class or a 2-hour meeting, that might not work so well. Or even just the digital literacy gap in knowing how to navigate a computer to be able to connect. But we continue to do that. We continue to offer help to our families to be able to connect, whether that is getting them equipment that we've been able to distribute thanks to support from our funders and donors, providing assistance, actually going to people's homes and showing them, outside or from a safe distance how to connect on their computers. So really having to get creative as to how we address the disparities. We also have had to get very creative to serve our children. So again, delivering kits. You see there on the picture on the right, the kits that we put together for our school readiness program, and literally getting on the bus and then getting the kits to the kids, and then our staff communicating with families. And then we see the picture of the kids actually using the kits. This pandemic has also exacerbated what I would call social isolation. So families, are at home not interacting or not having, especially for children, these developmental opportunities that they might have if they were physically in school. Our arts program, we had a virtual exhibit. So the students did all of their art pieces at home, and then again, we went out, collected them, and brought them in to do a virtual exhibit. So being creative, addressing barriers, doing the best we can in this situation. And really focusing on basic needs. Juan, mentioned some of the key and critical needs that were there before the pandemic and continue now. So we've had an expanded food pantry that has served over 5,000 people between the beginning of April and the end of June. We've also been fortunate to begin a financial assistance program to help immigrant families pay their housing costs. We're fortunate to see evictions again be paused in the state until the beginning of September. But again, those are Band-Aid assistance. There's some long-term issues here that will need to be addressed. And so that's been our response to date. In terms of what we're seeing, I've mentioned the disparate nature of this. So the positivity rate in the Richmond area for Latino, Latinx individuals continues to be at about 50%. Our overall positivity rate for COVID is 7%, a little over 7% in the state. So that right there shows you the disparate impact. So as Sacred Heart Center and other service providers that focus on this population look at how do we bring our services back online, the risk that we're dealing with is quite large, both for the community that we're serving and then for the staff that is working with them. I mentioned already technology. This is going to continue to be an issue, especially with schools being virtual. And all of a sudden, parents that may not speak English are going to be needing to support their children at home in making sure they can access classes or do their work. And how is all of that going to look? Even just making sure that families know that school is virtual at this time continues to be a challenge, that school will be virtual. The income piece, Juan mentioned it as well. It continues to be an issue right now. Latino workers are on the front lines, but they've also been definitely impacted by layoffs and reduction in hours. And then our children. So, if for many children, and this is just in general, school, it may be a safer environment than at home. And so now with schools being virtual and children continuing to stay at home, there's going to be some issues that more long-term we'll probably see as an impact of what we're having to do now. So what keeps me up at night thinking just about Sacred Heart Center and how you all can be involved and how you can make sure that you're a part of the solution. So I'm going to just focus on the three words: time, talent, and treasure. There's lots of ways to get involved, whether it's at the individual level or through your company. We're very fortunate to work with the companies that are sponsoring this event, with Dominion, with Altria, with Capital One, with their ERG groups. The employee resource groups are very engaged with us, and they do volunteer events at our center. Of course, right now it's a little tricky, but we still have been working closely with the different groups in different ways. Or you can be a volunteer individually. So, if you have a group at your company, at your business, individual volunteering, board service as well with our organization or others. Of course, funding is always very helpful, the treasure. And we know that area companies have grant programs. We're so grateful to have been supported in the past by several of them. I think my key message here is to make sure and get engaged and do something. There's plenty of ways to get involved, and there's plenty of work being done out in our community. So the key takeaway for me, for you all today, is to get connected. Especially as we stay virtual, it's important to not prevent this from being more connected than ever, not allow this social distancing to not let us be connected. So I'm going to stop there and just close by sharing my contact information, questions, reach out, both email and cell phone. And again, thank you all for being here this afternoon.
Tanya, thank you so much for your presentation and the work that you and your team are doing. We know that, I think Maria said it, there were certainly fragments in our society before COVID, and they've only been heightened over the last 3 or 4 months. And so we've got a lot of work to do. We want to make sure we learn from, experts and leaders like you who are making a difference, and we can continue to try to support you and your team. Molly, do you want to provide any comments or start with Q&A?
I've gotten a couple of questions, and I need to stir the pot up a little bit. We need some people asking questions here. We've got two fantastic folks talking to us about the Hispanic community, of which I am part of, and I have a unique position because when they see me, they first think I'm African American, and then they hear the accent and they think I'm Jamaican. I have to remind them that everyone with this cute accent is not from Jamaica. And then they realize, oh, she's Latina. So sometimes, it's a misnomer that people think that Latin people only look a certain way. But we are not a race. We are an ethnicity that is, compiled of many different ethnic backgrounds that come together to make this wonderful, powerful burst of people with a lot of color y sabor. So let me read the very first one. It's from Paula, and she says, as a fellow Latina, I agree. The terminology matters less. Addressing the issues of our communities is what truly matters. So we want to thank you for that. And yes, for us, it is very important, not only for the Latin people, but everyone to be able to benefit from having us around, because as we often talk, Tanya and Juan and I, we are no longer a melting pot. We're a tossed salad. We come with our own flavors, and we make this wonderful salad that we all get to partake in. Any word from you all, Tanya or Juan?
I would just say I agree. At the end of the day, for me, with the labels, they are labels that we are creating here in the U.S. for a variety of different reasons. So I think, I forget who mentioned it, but I think ultimately most of the people that I meet that have come here from another country, they continue to prefer to be from, you know, their country of origin, that name. And people don't necessarily arrive here and all of a sudden say I'm Hispanic or I'm Latino. They continue to say I'm Mexican, I'm Colombian, I'm Ecuadorian, Argentinian. So, and I feel like the labels will continue to change as time goes on.
And for my side, let me tell you this. When I came to America, I had to change the meaning of the word diversity or diverse. In Colombia, when I was living there, diverse or diversity was to refer food, weather, animals, tradition, but never related with people. When I came here and said the diversity committee, the diverse, because we have African Americans, because we have Latinos, because we have Caucasian, because we have Asians. I said, how is possible that they are using the term diverse or diversity to refer to people, while in Colombia never used for people? So I had to change in my mind the meaning of that word. It's just to let you know that for us, or for many other people, the color of the skin or the language you speak is not a big matter for us. It's just the human being what more matter for us in many situations.
Awesome. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Tanya. And Tanya, this one's for you. It's from Adrian. Adrian wants you to know, great to see you, Tanya. Congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let me see. Okay, now, folks, we need some questions here. Do I get to stir the pot? Yes, I do. So this COVID thing is really affecting a lot of Black and brown people. And what people don't realize is that if, you know, as Martin Luther King said, if everyone doesn't succeed, then this country can't succeed. So how do you convince some of these folks to understand that and to be willing to be a participant in this human race to make this life in this country that has promised us liberty, freedom, and equality a reality?
Molly, that's a huge.
Yes.
And of course you would ask that. Yeah.
Of course.
I think I'll answer it from the Sacred Heart Center perspective. So our vision is what brings me to the question that you just asked, which is that we envision a Richmond community that actively embraces each other in our shared humanity. And what's so powerful, so the work that we're doing on a daily basis, focusing on Latinx and Spanish-speaking families, is moving us towards this vision of where everyone in Richmond can embrace each other. And in an embrace, especially right now, in the time of social distancing, an embrace is even a more powerful image, is that you're looking eye to eye. It's no longer I'm up here and you're down here, or, you know, I'm better than you, or I'm helping you, I'm bringing you up. It's that you're eye to eye together. So by creating our space where people feel welcome and that they belong, that people that are new to the country, and they're getting the tools that they need then to go out into the larger Richmond community, that's the way that Sacred Heart Center is trying to work to make this vision of our shared humanity possible. So that's how I would answer that question.
And from my side, Mali, again, it is complicated question. First, because I represent a government, a local government, but also because it is not a magic way to respond or to find a solution. But what I can say it is that everybody, in his or her own ways, is looking to succeed, is looking to achieve what they want, the dreams. So if you want to achieve what you are looking for, you need to look for it, but also at the same time respect what others are looking also for. If I don't respect what others are looking, what others are thinking, I cannot wait or expect that others respect me. So I need to respect first in order to gain the respect from others.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, it's coming up now. We're going to have some work here. Can both panelists comment a little on the actions being taken on getting Latinx residents civically engaged, both with residents as well as with politicians? This is from William Weber.
Yes.
Definitely. Oh, no.
Go ahead.
And say definitely yes. We in Chesterfield County, and I mentioned at the end of my presentation, we create two different academies. One is the Hispanic Police Academy, where we encourage particularly Latinos to be part of the community, but real part of the community, not just apart from home and saying, yes, do it. No, people who need to go outside, people who need to go and vote, people who need to go and talk with the county board of supervisors or with chief of police, all these kind of things we discussed during the academy. And with the other academy, my Chesterfield Academy, that is open to every multicultural member or people who just came to the newcomers to the county to learn about the county government. They also have the opportunity to meet with all the different county department directors, with the chief of police, the chief of the sheriff, the chief of the fire, the board of supervisor, the administrator. So in order to discuss with them the different issues, the different problems our community in Chesterfield County has, but also to find solutions as a team to those problems. And another thing we usually do is to encourage and promote the voting registrations among not just Latinos, but among all the different immigrant and multicultural communities in Chesterfield County. And we attend different community events, different community activities where we want to engage with these people and encourage them to be part of the different committees, the different boards, not just county way, but also state and other localities.
Thank you. Tanya, you have something to add?
Just quickly, for Sacred Heart Center, we have our Latino Leadership Institute that prepares Spanish-speaking leaders to actually go out and advocate, and they're active in the General Assembly. The students receive continuing education credits from the University of Richmond, and that's a program that we hold yearly and really focuses on building leaders that are able to then go out and advocate for their community, and it's all done in Spanish.
Thank you very much. Michael Reynolds, want to say thank you also to you for what you're doing. And then we have a question from Renee Bowles. She says, I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, and I was wondering, how can I volunteer my time? I am an employee at Dominion Energy.
I would suggest, Renee, if you're in South Carolina, to see if there's an ERG in your facility through Dominion that you can get connected with and do volunteer work, directly there in your community. Another way would be to look and see if there are community centers, nonprofits, faith-based strategies that are doing work and being welcoming to immigrants in your area. I'm sure there are in Columbia, South Carolina. That would be my suggestion. And thanks for wanting to get involved.
Awesome. You have anything for her, Juan?
Excuse me?
Did you have anything you would like to say about?
Again, if more than happy to work with any person who is willing to make community service. We have several opportunities around the year. There are many people, many organizations who are looking for volunteers. Just to let you know, I met yesterday with Kim Hill, who works at the Chesterfield Food Bank, and they are desperate to find bilingual volunteers, most during Fridays, where is the day where they provide the food. She told me that, for example, last Friday, they have almost 1,800 people who received the food. Almost 1,400 were Latinos from those 18. 1,400 were Latinos, and they are desperate looking for bilingual volunteers. If you want to contact them or do you want to contact me, I'm more than happy to work with you and explore different opportunities.
Thank you very much. We got a lot of questions, so we're going to roll a little faster. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody and let them feel like we're not interested. One great comment was about the diversity, talking about diverse, Juan. This is from Jerry Baskerville, and he said, wow, that was interesting. And he feels like a lot of people need to hear about, the fact that you can say a word and it can mean so many different things to different people. So he wanted you to know that. Yeah,
definitely. In Colombia, I'm more than sure that we don't have the Asian community multicultural committee or something like that, or we don't have special celebrations, 1 month for the African American, we don't have 1 month for the Caucasian, we don't have 1 month for the Asian community. No, we have plenty of celebrations where everybody is included, not for specifically communities.
Very good. Another question, what resources are the school systems or the other NGOs putting in place to assist with the remote schooling? That question came from Jeff Stone.
Well, what I know is that at least in Chesterfield County, we have different platforms such as Canvas 101, where parents can be trained, can find information about how to navigate the systems, how to deal with this new virtual education. They have different platforms and different ways to outreach not just the students, but also parents, and there are information in different languages.
Very good. Tanya, this might be a good one for you.
Sure. I would just add, so we're exploring right now partnerships where we would be able to support families, Spanish-speaking families, in their virtual learning. The time to get it up and running is very short. School is around the corner, and many districts are just recently finalizing the fact that they were going to be doing virtual learning. We're also a small organization. So the resources needed to actually be intentionally and meaningfully responsive are much more. And anything that we do will probably focus on families in Richmond City, and we know, that there's more need as well in the counties also. So I think, I see several questions about schools in the chat box. And like I said, what keeps me up at night? The children, worried about them. We need a lot more resources in that regard.
I think that's where Christopher Lee was talking also about what resources are available outside of school to connect with other organizations outside of the school for Latinx students. So.
Molly, we are running out of time as we have done the last 2 sessions, but thank you for moderating this session. I guess we're going to have to maybe make these an hour and a half or 2 hours long because it's very important. And thank you so much for moderating that. Juan and Tanya, again, thank you for being here today and all that you're doing within your Chesterfield County community and the center, Tanya, that you lead. We want to make sure that we can be a help to Sacred Heart as you reach out to more and more people. The message is to make sure more and more people know what you all are doing within Chesterfield and Sacred Heart, and make sure we can get your communication out there as to the needs you have. This will be a continued conversation and many, many other opportunities. And so if you have questions, you can contact us at the Chamber, and we'll make sure we connect you to Juan and Tanya. We want to thank those today to make today possible, our sponsors, Dominion Energy. Thank you for all that you've done to support the series and so many other activities within the community. Our gold sponsors, Altria, Capital One, Virginia 529, and our silver sponsor, Facebook. Also want to thank Shiraze Nelson. Shiraze is our Director of Workplace Programs for ChamberRVA. She has put this series together, working with a lot of other dedicated people within the business community. And we thank you, Shiraze, for your leadership on this very important conversation. Continue to be with us next week, August the 19th at 1 o'clock, as we provide session 4, which is entitled Providing Pathways. And anything you need in between, please let us know at the Chamber, and we're happy to get back to you, connect you to these wonderful experts and dedicated servant leaders within the Richmond regional community. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you. Have a good one.